What's up, everyone? Welcome into this DR Roundtable segment. I am Ben Spicer, joined by Texas Epic head coach and founder, Coach Don Smith. Coach, thanks for joining us. How you doing down there in Texas?
Doing great, man. Nice little rainy day here, so stuck inside doing some work. So I'm glad to have this opportunity to catch up with you, and we're definitely excited to see you guys this weekend. We had such a great, experience with you guys in the U.S. Army Bowl, which was played in December in Frisco. So anytime DR7's on our map, and we love having you guys, especially when it's our own backyard.
You guys won 3 championships in the DR7 circuit last year, 2 runner-ups as well. You were the coach of the year. That was the first year of the Texas Epic program. So how has it grown year 1 going into year 2 there at Texas Epic?
Yeah, it's been awesome. And, the thing now that we have encountered, it goes before Texas Epic is just a universal name given to, the current programs that I had with the Scots and the Dragons. So, but we have, more athletes that have, of course, joined, and come on board from 10U all the way up to 18U. So, we love the power, the power of positive pressure, so we know when we go out each and every time it's what we have, on us, but, we have a culture in this program, and, we play it consistent, and that's obviously preached each and every practice and every event that we go to. So the challenge now is just being consistent, and being a passing game coordinator. I'm always trying to stay on top of the game, and then be an innovator in the passing offense and create new concepts and new looks and new wrinkles that we do. And so far those new looks have been fun, and just try to create matchups in our favor on the flip side.
This year, you guys have competed in 2 separate tournaments so far, a 33-5 combined record, championships in 10U, 12U, and 14U divisions already. What's been the key to the success, and how have things kind of gone from your perspective so far for Texas Epic this season?
Well, it really all begins with the athlete, just getting teachable, coachable athletes, coming in and just going out and really just come down to execute, and we know that, again, just the recipe for any program, whether it be playing Madden on TV or to professional ranks, is, limit mistakes, discipline. Obviously, really important. We practice with that. That way, when we go into the game, we're already there. Nothing changes other than we got a uniform on and parents and an opposing team to play. So, so far, it's been a great start, to the season. And, these things aren't sprints, they're marathons. So it's just, on to the next event, on to the next tournament. And it's fun playing in all the major, tournaments and organizations, because each one in their own way has very unique rules, that make them, unique. The competition is different each and every time. You really don't run into the same teams over and over between DR7, Championship 77, of course, Legend Showcase, which we played in those 2 this past month. So, yeah, so far we're up to a great start. And, again, we got a long way to go to get to the end of June. So everyone's healthy, and kids are playing great. We've got a great, support system with all the parents and families and grandparents and all. So, yeah, it's been a great start so far.
In the first year with Texas Epic, you guys had 9U all the way up to 15U. One difference this year is the debut of the 18U team. Right. Why don't you tell us about that team and its roster?
Yeah, so the majority is really the 15U just moving up. And then I'll be able to go in and get kids that I had, as they were 3rd or 4th grade, from the programs that are involved, and they're able to come in and play. DR7 allows current seniors, based on the January 1st cutoff. So I've got like 2 guys that are seniors that want, the additional exposure. They're trying to jump on board, to their respective university and all. And of course, right now for them, there's nothing for them to do. If you really think about that, other than running track. And as far as football goes, in their high school career, it's in the rearview mirror. So yeah, but the 15U, we're a young 18U team. It's primarily still sophomores, but we've added a couple of our juniors that I've had in the past, and a couple seniors as well. So yeah, the 18U division, it's the physicality and the speed that changes from division to division. Yeah, it's been a good start so far, and we were able to see that right out of the gate, back at the U.S. Army Bowl, to be able to go in there and win that against, really great competition.
You'll also be bringing your 14 and 12U teams this weekend, 2 teams that have already won championships. Tell us a little bit, give us some background about them and what your expectations are with them this weekend too.
Yeah, so the 12U team, of course, they played in 10U last year, but a lot of the 10U divisions did make early on in the spring. So now they are a combination of 5th and 6th graders. So it's still a younger 12U team, and a lot of familiar faces that you guys have covered, on that squad. It's nice to finally have some size and physicality as they got a little bit older. Nitro, I think everyone's familiar with Nitro. We have one of the top gunslingers in the country. He's getting a lot of really cool, publicity, and people still are shocked he's only an 8th grader, playing at a high school level. But whenever we have a joint practice with 14U and 18U, he's out throwing with my 18U receivers, and you really can't tell the difference when I'm watching them throw. The velocity is not much difference between the 8th grader, Buck Randall, and those 18U quarterbacks. Yeah, excited to get them out with the DR7. But yeah, Nitro, feel really good about them this year. We were really 13U last year, but we're able to compete. But just the size and the speed and the physicality, was our weak link. So kids got a little bigger, stronger within the year. So we'll see what it looks like this weekend.
We've talked with you before and highlighted your career in the DR roundtable and DR7 realm. But just before we kind of segue into our next topic, for those who may not be familiar, kind of give us some background on yourself and how long you've been in the 7-on-7 sphere and the success that you've had over the year, not just with Texas Epic.
Yeah, they tease me, call me the Godfather, and I think that's a fun little topic to go around. But I've been boots on the ground since really day one of 77. So I've been involved with it for 10 years. When it first started, we really didn't know what it was because it was only run in the off season with varsity, teams, and they would play late in spring. Then they would have a little championship down in College Station. So that was all that was offered 10 years ago, and then you had organizations that began forming leagues and forming tournaments, and it just kind of got younger and younger through the years. And that's where I start my program out. It's that 10U, 9U. To begin with, and then being involved with rules and throwing out ways just to make the sport better. We all know, I can sit here all day and talk about the benefits of the sport. So just with the growth of organizations like DR7, Championship 77, your Legends, and the list goes on and on. Y'all been able to take this to another level with media access, as you guys do. Y'all cover the sport and the athletes. I mean, not just my program, but just everyone. Y'all do such a great job with that. So there's another addition of value that it brings. It takes a village. It's not one coach that's responsible for one athlete's success. It comes down to the high school in which they're at, their private coaching, their speed coaching, their weight training coaching, their nutritionists. 77 coaches. We obviously have a bit in that. So collectively, it takes all of us to get the athlete where his goals and for him to be able to attain and reach that. So that's where we're at in our program. Before it was all strictly school related, but over the course of a few years now, you're seeing now more of club sports, the AAU side of this, and teams are traveling just like they've done in years with basketball and football. What makes 77 so unique is we're the only avenue of football, if you really think about this, to where you get a chance to play against athletes and programs from all across the country. Here in Texas, we have, a 0 week and week 1 or maybe week 2, we are bringing an IMG or, Mate or D out of California or there's our surrounding states come in and play. But after that, we're all in our district,
Right.
So for this, and I think I'm speaking for all of us, when we play against the teams out of Florida, they're a different style. The teams from Louisiana, they're a big physical style, which, it's just it's iron sharpens iron is what I'm getting at. It makes our athletes better. They get a chance to see athletes they would never have seen, playing more than where we're at now. So, we want to continue doing what we can, for the safety of the sport, where the athletes, again, they're growing in the off season when they head back to their respected school. We want them to be, in good shape, good health, a better athlete, their football IQ be, top notch. For them to be able to compete, whichever school that they're at that point. So, but yeah, the growth of the sport over the last couple of years, being there from day one to where it is now, man, everyone's doing such a great job, and let's keep this thing running, man.
And of course, at the end of the day, it all circles back to high school football because that's what we're trying to develop these athletes for. And a big component of that is keeping the kids safe throughout the season in 7-on-7. Of course, obviously there's injuries in sports. Some are uncontrollable and unfortunate, but others are preventable. And that's a concern that you kind of had and you've reached out to me with, and something you want to talk about was safety moving forward in the 7-on-7 world. What did you have to bring?
Yeah, so what I want to do again is I want to share this not just within Texas. I want to share this with all the organizers, all the organizations, all the leagues, all the officials, all the field directors, all the coaches especially, and all the athletes and parents, is that, we've just got to take a moment and a minute. We do this in our practice where we have segments where we talk about safety and how to play the sport correctly. I teach our kids, we go in and we touch below the shoulders and we raise our hand to allow the official to see that we make that. So, what we experience of recent, I want to get out in front of it right now and address it to all, because if we do not, it's going to go into another direction where we're not going to have control. And when the high school coaches step in and shut down, especially in Texas, I have great friends that are high school directors and great coaches, as we all do, and their main thing is they love the result of 77, but the safety has to be addressed. Now, listen, we're dealing with athletes. They're bigger, stronger, faster each and every year. That's, on bang, bang plays and football plays, going for a ball. Those things that's going to happen in any sport. Injuries is just the unfortunate side of sports that we all hate, we dislike. But what I want to address are the injuries that are preventable. So again, we had a situation where an athlete caught a ball. He was running up the field. An athlete behind him tracked him down and shoved him with full force from behind. It was an intentional, aggressive shove. The athlete, of course, was forced to the ground, went down really hard, got up and broke his clavicle, just like that. So things like that we have to address. Now, with this young man, he's at one of the most successful high schools. I'm not going to say it, but one of the most successful high schools in the state. So he's going back to school. He's a track runner. They begin spring ball. They're doing things with spring ball soon. He's not going to be able to participate. So again, when you go in, coaches, what happened to you over the weekend? Well, coach, I was playing 77. Well, what happened? I got shoved down. So it's things like that we need to address right now. Because if we don't, for all of us, and especially the state of Texas, is we're all going to be impacted. It's going to be a ripple effect. And these coaches are going to, any athlete coming into ninth grade ball, so we're talking about 15U and 18U divisions here. Okay, if this continues and there's not some type of rule, then they will not allow their athletes to play. Simple as that. So, what I would suggest is, again, most field directors, before you go out, I know DR7 does this, and there's a lot of really, really good guys out there. They bring the teams in, they address what is acceptable, what is unacceptable. I know it's monotonous. Everyone hears that over and over, but we need to just take the 2 minutes to do so and address what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. And that's your warning. So if this occurs in a future tournament where an athlete is aggressively shoved down, again, on a non-football play. So let's define and make sure we're transparent on what the difference is, between, again, going up for a ball, but aggressively being full extension, shoved down where the athlete falls hard, and breaks the clavicle or something that's going to set him back for spring ball, which we're about to enter here in the state. That would be fair is unnecessary roughness, just like they treated as targeting. And if that occurs, the athlete needs to be ejected right away. Simple as that. The warning takes place before the game. So, if coaches could just take a minute and practice and just go over the simple things. We all love the sport, but we've got to stand up and we've got to make sure we take the time to do the right things to where the sport grows in the direction where we're at right now. We're at the pinnacle of the sport right now. Right. And the athletes love it. They understand the value of it, but we can't be sending our athletes back to their schools in this state when there's going to be an injury involved. Again, unpreventable is what we're talking about here. Going backward, now they're going to miss track. They're going to miss what they need to going into spring ball. And again, all the arrows come back to this sport. The team that we did play, I will share this, they were out of state. It was a team from South Carolina. So, possibly there they may play a different style of 77 that we do. I think all of us in the state of Texas, we all are pretty consistent. We all kind of have the same style. We're all, all the teams by most part are really well coached. The athletes play with a lot of sportsmanship. The discipline obviously is there. So, I think maybe the attitude, knowing going in, and I know you guys do a great job of covering what teams are coming in per event, where they're from, what have they done. It's just taking a minute just to make sure that they are, again, just making awareness is this can't happen. Even though you're not here, but you're in our state, you're playing our teams, and we've got to protect our state of Texas athletes. Simple as that.
Yeah, I know safety is obviously of major importance on the DR7 ranks. I've already gotten the chance to talk with Jonathan Mumphrey about that and raise your concerns and my concerns as well. So we appreciate you coming on the DR Roundtable on the platform and just discussing, what your thoughts were on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I'm open. I have tons of conversation with, directors from each organization and coaches and athletes. And, it's just doing things the right way. That way, all of us, we all enjoy it. We all love the sport. We all understand the value of it, but we just want to, again, it's just, you're dealing with athletes. And again, that's the ugly side of sports. It's not just football, any sport, any type of injury is going to happen. That's just unpreventable. We've done things in the sport over the years, of implementing headgear, and I was involved in flex 9v9. That kind of bridges between flag and 7-7 tackle, where there are soft shell shoulder pads and things of that nature. Just to do anything we can to help protect. But it's just unpreventable things that we've got to step up right now and stay in front of it. Because if not, this ripple effect is again, it's not going to be a matter of when or if, it's going to be a matter of when it happens. And these coaches, they have symposiums. They're all connected. I don't care where you play your high school ball, whatever, 6A to private school. These coaches are very connected. And, again, this is something that we need to stay out in front of. Just therefore, again, it's going to affect everybody if we don't.
Coach, appreciate your time. Looking forward to seeing you this weekend at Road to the Crown in Dallas.
Yeah, pumped to see you guys, and looking forward to seeing you guys out there. The weather should be great. Safe travels to you guys coming in that don't live here, and all the other teams and athletes coming in. So appreciate your time, and looking forward to another great event with DR7 this weekend.
That is Texas Epic head coach Don Smith. I'm Ben Spicer. Thanks for watching, everyone.